to the military man to finish early and give us time back. Thank you so much. Under Committee Rule 9, we will now question witnesses under the 5-minute rule. I will begin the question. Put the clock on, Bean, as we embark. Y'all did a great job, by the way. Thank you all for coming forward. Mr. Pondicio, you've got unique perspective because you were a teacher in a public school and now you've been involved in a charter school. Is it possible for you to tell us what's the difference? What's the secret? What's the secret sauce in charter schools and the difference?
Yeah, I was a teacher at a public school and at a charter school. I taught high school civics for a time at Democracy Prep public charter schools in Harlem, New York. The difference is, and look, let me be clear, I don't think there's any particular magic that happens when you put the name charter on a school building. What it is a permission structure, right? Chartering allows you to innovate, allows you to do something new and different that you couldn't do in the public school system. Some charters take full advantage of that, some do not, let's be honest. But the best charters embrace this and innovate around curriculum and instruction, which is my particular interest. And some of the very best charters think thoughtfully about the job of the teacher and making, how do you make that job, as I like to say, doable by mere mortals? As a former public school teacher, I can tell you that it is, I like to say it is the easiest job in the world to do badly, the hardest job in the world to do well. So one of the things that I've studied over the years, particularly in charters, particularly like the one that I referenced in my testimony, is innovative ideas around making the job doable by the teachers we have, not the teachers we wish we had.
Were you coached differently as the administration at one or the other?
Well, back to my experience as a charter school teacher, I got more observations and coaching on a single day than, frankly, I got in 5 years at PS 277, where I had 2 observations in 5 years. I don't mean 2 a year, 2 observations, period, in 5 years. In my first day teaching high school civics at Democracy Prep, my principal was in my classroom giving me feedback.
Good deal.
But if I may complete
hopefully, I got to move on, but hopefully we'll explore that because I know you've had that insight right there. Dr. Raymond, we've heard we all want what's best for kids. We all want a system that thrives. We want an accountable system. We want to be measuring everybody's report card. All report cards should be the same because we can measure. There's been some criticism on charters today that we don't measure them appropriately and whatnot. How do you respond to that criticism? Is that fair?
I think that all schools should face the same outcomes performance criteria. And I think if we do that, you will find, as Mr. Pondicio said, some charter schools don't do very well, but the vast majority of them do. And so those sets of criteria should apply regardless. And they ought to be tied to our learning standards that we think kids need to know in order to be successful in life.
Is the Credo measuring stick, and that's the measuring stick of how we, based on educational outcomes, is that fair? Is that need to be reformed? Is it accurate?
Well, if we thought it was unfair, we would change it. No, the idea that we have is that we have precisely matched on all things that we can measure a student in a charter school with students who look exactly like them, including their starting score, so their educational endowments, in local district schools. And so it's a peer-reviewed methodology. We've had 4 published critiques, evaluations of our methodology, and not only do we hold up well as a regular matching methodology, but our results actually approximate what you would get with so-called experimental designs. I'm confident it's useful.
Thank you very much. Mr. Campbell.
Yes, sir.
You've got a distinguished career as a military veteran, but also as a business leader. You could do a lot of things, probably go elsewhere and make a lot of money, but you've made a decision to engage in bolstering charter schools and educational choice. Why are you doing that?
It's very simple. I mean, just the hundreds and hundreds of families, parents that I've talked to. I've been in living rooms where I've heard them talk about the challenges of getting a great education. I've heard them share their hopes, their wishes, their dreams, their aspirations for their kids that they felt like were being unmet. And so anything I can do to help them do that, I think that's the most important work and work that I will always look back upon fondly. So if I could help parents be able to do that, that's what I'm going to do.
Was my opening statement accurate when I said there's a lottery, there's lines to get in, families literally live on that computer trying to get in. They know that sometimes it's the only way they can get out, they can elevate their family. Is that accurate?
It is in some cases. That is absolutely accurate in some cases. In others, the reality is that, if we do this well, our schools will be better, and also traditional public schools will be better. And so my hope, again, is that we have great charter schools. They push our district in ways that they might not always want to be pushed, but that they get better also, and that we have a variety of offerings that parents, especially those parents who have limited means, can be able to access those schools.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. I now yield the floor to Ranking Member Bonamici for 5 minutes. You're recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the witness